All right. Looks like we got some news coming up here. Some PoE2. So let's take a look and see what we got.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Rogers, Game Director on Path of Exile 2. Well, we're back from our break. We've been playing the game a whole lot and we've been reading a whole lot of feedback as well. So it's time to assess and work out what we're going to do next. Now, later this week we'll be releasing PoE2 0.1.1. This is a patch designed to address the concerns that we can address relatively quickly, without needing to create a new league or a new economy just yet.
So, in other words, we're going to fix crap as much as we can, and if there's anything big, then we're going to have to wait. So, I think this patch is going to be more of like simple stuff that could have a big impact based off of like the feedback that people have been giving, because people are still really upset about a lot of things, but I don't think they're going to be able to address some of those things until they have a lot of time, because I mean, they've only been back for a little while. So I'm surprised they are even coming out with an update. So we'll see how it goes.
In this video, we'll be going over some of the issues we've identified and what we're planning on doing about them. It's worth stressing that just because a specific issue isn't on this list doesn't mean that we're not aware of it or that it isn't going to get addressed.
Exactly.
It just means that we either can't fix the problem quickly or we can't do so without the need for a new economy. One of the major areas that needs a lot of attention is the base experience of mapping. We've made
real quick. So that's actually a really good point. One of the things that a lot of people talk about is we're not game developers, right? Well, very few of us are game developers. So we talk about things that we want to change, but we don't realize that maybe those things can't be changed without completely resetting the game. You know what I mean? Like, some things have such big impact on the game that they have to legit reset. Like they were talking about, like resetting the economy. So yeah, I wonder how long it's going to be though before that happens. And I wonder what specifically those things are. Because some changes, they need to happen, but I'm just not sure how long it's going to take.
A lot of changes here. First, in-game maps have received a balance pass to the number of monsters, number of chests, number of magical rare monsters, number of essences, strongboxes, and precursor artifacts. You should generally find maps more rewarding than before.
Good.
Maps generally specialize in one or more of these elements that they will be particularly rewarding in. Now, towers are a thing that's very important for players to run often, but we only had one of them. We wanted to add more variety here as soon as possible, so we've added 4 more tower maps. Alpine Ridge.
I've never run one.
Sinking Spire. Bluff. And Mesa.
Ooh, Mesa. That looks cool.
We've also redone the existing Lost Towers map to make playing there less boring.
Yeah.
We're now also spawning more maps with bosses. The rate was intended to be 1 in 4 maps, but in reality the rate was much lower due to some maps being unable to spawn bosses. We've increased the rate to compensate for this issue so that we can get the actually intended rate.
Sense.
We're also adding a new type of tablet that allows you...
Yeah, because it's weird. Like they built this game kind of based on doing a boss on every map. So I'm surprised it's just not part of every map in Endgame. Like, it should be part of your, every level you play, there should be a boss. At least that's my opinion. Maybe not every level, but definitely more often, because every single map you walk into in the campaign has a boss, and they're just basically non-existent in Endgame. So it's good to see them making a change on that.
You to add bosses to your maps with its own mod pool.
Legit, that's
Strongboxes
cool.
also needed some love.
Yeah,
they now spawn monsters faster, have a less annoying fog effect, and have also received changes to the timings and effects of the mods on them. Now, let's talk about visibility of effects. Many maps had too much clutter, preventing effects on the ground from rendering, causing you to be unable to see and dodge them.
No, like, okay, I don't, has this happened to you guys at all? Like, when I'm playing, sometimes it's not even like super cluttered and it's still not playing certain effects. Like, there are some bosses, it's like the lizard guy that does like fire and stuff like that. He's got like a sword, flame sword and stuff, and he blows fire. I can't see the freaking fire every time he does an attack. And it's not just him. Like, this happens to me on all kinds of bosses. Just randomly, I'll die from something. I'm like, I can't even see what killed me. Like, it's just not, it's just not rendering in, which is so weird because I've got a nice setup. I don't have a cheap setup. It's not the best, but it's way above what you need for this game. And it's still not loading in the effects. So I don't know that if that connects to what they're changing here, but holy smokes. Man, hopefully this fixes that.
Change the level of clutter on some maps and has changed some effects to make sure that they are always visible. In addition, elemental explosion effects have had visibility improved. Stick around for longer before they explode and disappear without exploding if a rare monster dies.
That's good.
Volatile plants are also way easy to see before they explode. Now we've also increased the zoom level on the Atlas.
Yes!
Gonna pass on various terrain collision issues in many maps.
That's good.
We've also improved the load times of opening the world map and Atlas panel.
Absolutely.
And we also now show the
Thank you.
biome of a map on the hover for it.
That's good. Okay, cool.
For other in-game content systems, we're focusing on getting all the rewards in line with what they should be. For Delirium, we recently fixed a bug which caused Delirium monsters to just not spawn after the starting part.
That happened to
And
me a
we've
couple
also buffed
times.
the rate of simulacrums dropping by 20% to make it more in line with the rate of finding the expedition and ritual bosses.
That's good. That's cool.
For Ritual, we've made omens now appear in the Ritual Tribute window 60% more often. For Expedition, we've improved the rarity from the shops, but we'll be wanting to make some more substantial changes to the rewards for this league later on. Now, one of the major concerns that we're often seeing is that getting to play Pinnacle content just takes too long, and that when you do finally get there, you only get one attempt and don't get a chance to learn the boss.
See, that's a big problem.
In order to address these concerns, we're making the following
That's
changes.
a huge problem.
First, we're making the Citadel spawn closer to the center of the Atlas.
Okay,
and we've
that's
also added an
dope.
effect so you can see them in the fog of war from further away. This makes them much easier to find. To address the problem,
See, that's good too, because then you actually have the ability to look into the fog and figure out where you want to go. Because right now I find myself just aimlessly wandering through the Atlas. Like I'm not necessarily going in a specific direction towards anything. So I'm just kind of like, okay, well, what's next? You know what I mean? Or like looking for the maps I like, or looking for the different modifiers that I like. But I'm just kind of meandering. I don't even know what I'm really looking for. So that's really cool. It's a good idea to make it easier to see.
of only having one attempt, on the Arbiter of Ash you will now get up to 6 respawn attempts.
Oh, thank goodness.
Respawns can only be triggered by the person who put in the keys, and everyone on your party will be respawned at the same time. Leaving the map still forfeits your attempt, so you'll still need to fight the boss with the build you walked into the map with. Higher difficulties of the boss will lower the number of respawn attempts you get, but you should know the mechanics of the fight by then, right? Now, we'll also be adding respawns to other Pinnacle content as well over time. Another thing that players have noticed is that there are less keys from Faradin Citadels on the market, and thought that it was because the Citadel spawns less often. It turns out though that this is just because the boss kills players more often than the others. We've made a few changes to that boss to bring it in line with the other
That's
bosses.
fair.
A lot of people have reported that many of our unique items are feeling underwhelming.
Yes.
Uniques are often
Holy
designed
smokes,
to be build
they
enabling
suck.
at high
They
levels,
suck.
even if they're low level uniques. But we realized that we do need to make sure that more uniques feel powerful when you first get them at low levels too. In this patch we are buffing a lot of uniques. These changes should make finding
Thank
uniques at
you.
lower levels a lot
Oh,
more fun.
thank you.
And make subsequent character playthroughs more fun too, when you have some great uniques
Yes.
to use.
That's one of my favorite things is using my old everything
We're also
I've
changing a
gathered
few
in a
other
new
things to make
character.
finding rares better at higher levels too. First, we're changing mod weightings a bit to make sure that there are less bad mods. Another
Thank
fix is
heaven.
making high tier items no longer cull the highest tier modifier of a given mod type. This bug caused bows and crossbows to not spawn with attack speed at tier 5 rarity, and rings to not spawn with life at tier 5 rarity. Another change we're making is to make it so that socketables such as runes can now be overwritten with another socketable.
Yes. Thank you.
As we continue to play, we
Gosh.
still find many balance anomalies
Thank
with
you.
specific monsters or bosses that can be nasty if you encounter them. This patch contains a pass adjusting a large number of those monsters and bosses. We'll save the full list for the patch notes, but there are a significant number of changes here that should address many cases where monsters or bosses felt too hard in certain circumstances. Here are a few examples to get a taste of what kind of changes you can expect. The Silver Fist Commander roll now does a lot less damage.
Strange. I didn't even
Plague
notice
Bearer's
that.
Detonate Dead can no longer be used from off-screen and has better telegraphing.
I never had an issue with that
Forsaken
either.
Miners throw less grenades, have improved
They
visuals,
can
and
be a
deal less
pain.
damage. And Lost Men Zealots can no longer meteor you from off-screen either, as well as many other changes just like
Getting
those.
off screen is never good.
One of the big issues for players on consoles is that the web-based item filter system is currently not working. This means that they can't use item filters like the PC users can. For 0.1.1, we'll be enabling the same system that PoE 1 has, which allows you to subscribe to item filters on the website. For now, this will be done on the PoE 1 website to allow us to get this feature out as fast as possible.
Nice.
Later on, we'll improve the user experience of this and put it on the Path of Exile 2 website. This patch also contains a bunch of other smaller changes and bug fixes that I'm sure you guys will appreciate.
My screen is not looking good. Why is it not playing? See, it's not playing at the correct definition. This should
like
fix it.
Buffing armor and scavenged plating. Showing the number of uses left in your charms, as well as an effect when they trigger.
Legit. Okay, cool.
The Song of the Exiles.
Fixing the music that Una was supposed to play in town.
Oh, she was supposed to be playing music. I never even noticed. That makes sense.
And plenty of other little fixes and improvements throughout the game. Now, we have a huge amount of much more meta-shifting changes that we know we want to make. And one of the best things about having the game in early access with the endgame is that we now have a much better idea of where we want character power to be and what the balance of bosses and monsters should be relative to that. But those types of changes are going to have to wait until we are ready to make a new league with a new economy for people to play in. That's still a little while away yet, but in the meantime we'll be continuing to identify things that are causing frustration and try and address them. I want to thank you guys for playing and hope to be doing more of these in the future. Later.
All right, boys. Well, I guess we got some changes coming. I'm excited to see what they do after this when they have some time, because there's so many things, and we're going to watch this here in just a sec, but there are so many things that need to be done. And that's the point. It's early access. So this is a good start. And hopefully they can get done quickly, because a lot of people are losing patience with some of this stuff. But I mean, like I said, like I try to tell people, it's early access. Just be patient. If you're upset now, just come back later and see if you like it when it's in a different state, because on full release, it's going to be a much different experience than we're having now. And that's the point. So looking forward to it. And anyways, guys, if you like this video, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe, all that jazz, and leave a comment. Let me know what you think. I'll see you in the next one. Adios.